let's start with this story. After 4 days of chaos, the municipal workers' strike in Tshwane is over. And the city workers have reached an agreement after demanding an 18% wage increase. It follows the municipalities admitting that it bent the rules to give senior managers an 18% salary hike. Workers will now receive a once-off payment between 7 and 15,000 rand. Following this story closely is our colleague Lindo Guhle Xulu. Lindo, good morning to you. Talk to us about the details of that agreement. What is exactly being said about the so-called 18% salary wage increase?
Well, Xoli, what we understand is that as late as, or should I say as early as 1 a.m. this morning, that's when the agreement was reached by the parties, particularly the city of Tshwane. You understand Imat was there as well as Samu, who was in fact at the forefront of this particular industrial action or protest, if you like. But what we understand is that the agreement was only reached when the city of Tshwane was actually willing now to say, let's check back, let's suspend the 18% increment for the people of for some of the workers in the higher rankings of this particular city. But what they said also is that because they had made a rash decision, and this was said admittedly in one of the interviews that my colleague Aviwe Mtila had, that the city of Tshwane had admitted to bypassing or superseding the bargaining council, which was supposed to give feedback on the negotiations that they were having with some of the directors in that 18% increment. But now they're saying that because of that decision, because of that bad decision made by the city, they had to now take back what they gave to those senior members, which is an 18% increment. So that one is suspended. But more so what they are saying is that to level the playing field, particularly to the employees that have been protesting outside here, is that there will be increments. I'll just go through them. It is in 3 categories. They're saying that those who earn up to 20,000 rands will be getting a payment, a once-off payment of about 15,000 rands, and those who earn up to 30,000 rands, between 20 and 30,000 rands, will be getting up to a once-off payment of 10,000 rands. And it goes further to say those who earn above the 30,000 rand pay grade will be getting about 7,000 rands. Again, Xoli, this falls onto the taxpayers, and if I can put it into perspective, the people of the city of Tshwane, I'll move out of short, the very same people, Xoli, that have been experiencing blockades on the roads, that couldn't go to their respective destination, particularly to work, the very same people that have been walking among the rubble that you see here at the dirty streets of Pretoria, that have been subjected to a lot of these things, are the very same people now that will be having to cough out this money with their tax paying money. So this is the reality of it, that the city of Tshwane in essence made a mistake by giving those senior people 18% increment despite not getting a feedback from the bargaining council. And more so, they're saying now to fix their mistake, they will be suspending this payment. They will be going out to other regions, other cities, to see how pay grades are supposed to be, and now to fix their mistake and apologize in a way to the people that were protesting here, to the members of SAMU and the workers of the city, the municipal workers of the city of Tshwane. They will be giving them a once-off payment. So to solve a crisis that was started by money, they will be issuing more money coming from the taxpayers' pocket.
Yeah, Linda, what a strange way to end this strike. The taxpayers, I'm sure, will be asking the question, are these workers being rewarded for participating in an illegal strike? Well, one of the other questions there, Lindo, is that the employees will not be victimized for having participated in this current unprotected strike. Talk to us about when it is that the unions will be addressing a media briefing, because this statement also does say that at some point the unions that participated in this strike will be having media briefings.
Well, what we know, in fact, Xoli, as he rightfully put it, is that today we're expecting the city, first and foremost, to be the one to address the media on the outcome of these particular negotiations. They are expected to speak to the media at about 12 noon, but more so the statement, or rather the agreement statement that we got from the bargaining council says also that the union is, or the unions that are involved are said to also come forth and give a statement, but more so it seems that the unions have worked in the favor of those protesting municipal workers that were on an unprotected strike. It was an illegal strike, but they were able to also say, bargain and say that no one in this particular strike who took part in this strike must be held accountable. But one of the most important things here, Xoli, again, I'll go back to that point, is that first and foremost, the city of Tshwane did not wait for the bargaining council during those negotiations that ended up or resulted in the 18% increment of some of those senior directors in this city of Tshwane. So they didn't wait for that recommendation from the bargaining council, but more so now what they are saying is a way forward is that they will be suspending those 18% increments, and they will be going out to other regions to see exactly the structure of the way in which they pay their employees, particularly the senior directors of other cities. And I imagine Johannesburg would be one of those cities that will be looked at. But this is the way forward that both these parties, in fact the three parties have found, which is Imatu, which is SAMU, as well as the city of Tshwane. But their mistake is again fixed by issuing out payments, once-off payments to these employees, and again, most importantly, coming from the pockets of taxpayers.
All right, Lindo Kuhle, thank you very much for that update. Is live for us in the city of Tshwane. Well,